Hello again my friends, this is the boy and his dog, and welcome to the channel where I play, rank and review every game released on the Evercade, old and new. In today's episode we continue our countdown of the entire Evercade console cart range with a ranking of 30 down to 21. So we've gotten my least favourite out of the way in the last video. It wasn't even that I disliked any of those carts overall, it's just the carts in today's video have more going for them, at least for me. Remember, this is all just for fun, and it is only my opinion, as odd as that can be sometimes. But it has been really groovy going back through every game. It's been a long time since I played some of them before even the VS came out, so on the original handheld. And I've surprised myself with some of the final placements, so there's that. I guess we better get stuck in. In 30th place is the 18th Evercade cart, Worms Collection 1. Now this cart only has 3 titles, and they are solid titles: Worms, Worms Armageddon and Worms Blast, with a bonus 4th Worms Director's Cut if you put both Team 17 carts in the VS. And that's the major point with Worms. It's perfect for the VS, though there are solo options. Worms Blast is a solid solo puzzle game with decent length. Both Worms and Worms Armageddon are more suited for multiplayer. And yes, while there is limited solo shenanigans in the original Worms and a fair few side modes and challenges for the single player in Armageddon, I don't think it's enough to keep returning on your lonesome. It doesn't help that both Worms and Armageddon look ridiculously small on the EXP and Super Pocket. This really only leaves you with Worms Blast, which I can't lie is a solid handheld puzzle game, but is it worth to warrant the purchase? And in 29th place is the 13th Evercade cart, Atari Links Collection 1. Now, it's brilliant we can play Links games on the Evercade. Again, it's one of the reasons I love the system, that we can play games from systems back through video game history. As the games are all built for a specific handheld, some can look a little rough on a massive TV, but they are obviously nicely suited to the Super Pocket and EXP. I will admit, after my initial excitement of finally getting to play Links games, I haven't returned to this first Links collection as often as I thought I would. I definitely feel it's a bit of a mixed bag here. A fair few games are merely alright, but the Super Asteroids and Missile Command combo is a blast. The Way of Stones and Dracula are pure stoner delights, and in Scrapyard Dog you have to rescue a dog. Bloody sold! The only title I really didn't like was Gordo 106. And in 28th place is the 10th Evercade cart, Technos Collection 1. Now there are 8 games in this collection, and it is very Double Dragon heavy. I know this is probably a bit low in the ranking for some. I've got nothing against Double Dragon. It's just never a series that's really grabbed me compared to other scrolling beat 'em ups and hack 'em ups. And I prefer the arcade ports as well. Now River City Ransom, however, was a nice surprise. I do think if you're into the Double Dragon series and or just can't get enough of scrolling beat 'em ups, this should be high on your shopping list. Also, I believe this is a legacy cart now. I could be wrong, I might be getting this confusing there. So it's probably best to get it sooner rather than later if you're interested. And in 27th place is the 15th Evercade console cart Jellico Collection 1. There are a healthy 10 games in this collection. For me, however, it is a bit of a mixed bag. While I love Operation Logic Bomb and Earth Defense Force, which is a slightly gorgeous looking horizontal shoot 'em up where you can choose from a variety of weapons and level up your gun by killing enemies, so a little bit sexy. But I'm not the biggest fan of City Connection, and more horrifyingly, there are two sports games included, with bases loaded and the terrifyingly exclamation marked Super Goals 2. Totally Rad is fine, and I maybe didn't love Ignition Factor as much as I thought I would, though it was okay. And in 26th place is the 30th Evercade console cart, the Sydney Hunter Collection. Now there are only 4 games in this collection, and I kind of bloody love them all. But I had to find a way to rank all these games, so I had to be more brutal, had to keep it real. Keeping it real, is that what the young'uns say now, or is it fat? Keeping it fat, is that a thing? Anyway, although I love these games, they're all quite short, bar a school chasing one that kind of loops. If they were longer, or we had the Mayan game I've heard about, this would be higher up. But saying all that, while I was initially playing through the carts, I pretty much enjoyed every minute. They're also great on the Super Pocket. Again, not a priority cart, but if you have a few under your belt already, and you just like the look, or the review I posted up for them, then defo grab it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. In 25th place is the 14th Evercade console cart Atari Links Collection 2. While there are only 8 games in this collection compared to the first Links Collection's massive 17, it's definitely quality over quantity this time round. There are some bangers within, probably the most famous is Blue Lightning, and it's still a fun game even now. Gates of Zendoken, don't know if I pronounced that properly, is a surprisingly decent and deep multi-route horizontal shoot-'em-up. Electro Cop just has an amazing Blade Runner style aesthetic, and that's good enough for me. And Chips Challenge is the absolute gem of the cart, an absolute fantastic puzzle game. There isn't a single stinker on here, though the Links version of California Games is quite limited compared to other versions on the Evercade. As before, this looks and feels better on the XP and Super Pocket, though still playable enough on the VS, if a bit pixelated zoomed out so much. Remember, Atari collections are becoming legacy carts in the new year, so if you are interested, you should grab them while you can before some idiot grabs them all and triples the price. There is a huge section of Atari on Evercade from the console, handheld and arcade selections, so if any take your fancy, don't hesitate. Atari is a piece of history we should all really own if interested in video games past. And in 24th place is the 5th Evercade console cart Atari Collection 2. This cart has a whopping 20 games, which should definitely not be sniffed at, though let's be honest, a fair few are very basic simple affairs that won't keep you coming back on repeat. Saying that, there are a few addictive stonkers on here. The 7800 Asteroids and Centipede, both very addictive, and the 2600 Millipede, they all still play so well. and if you followed my channel a long time, you know I'm weak to any version of Asteroids. Though this isn't my favourite iteration of the game, it's still Asteroids, so still awesome. I also have a weird addiction to real sports tennis. I did back in the day, and it seems has never left me. Though we have the more basic version of Dark Chambers in this collection, if you want to play the superior 7800 version, aka Gauntlet Stoner Edition, old joke, then put both Atari Collection carts in the VS to unlock it. I would say it's worth getting both carts just for that slice of awesomeness. And in 23rd place is the 20th Evercade console cart Mega Cat Studios Collection 2. There are 8 games in this collection, and it's very puzzle game heavy, but Arcagis Revolution, that's probably not how you say it, which is an awesome top-down shooter with Mode 7 style effects. It's not actually Mode 7. Great game. Misplaced and Not Where You Go both have a really cool unique gimmick. Gluff and Yazzie are both fun platform puzzlers, and Rona's Tale is a cool tile collapsing game. If you're after a puzzle collection cart, you can't really go wrong, but if puzzle games aren't really your thing, I don't think Arcagis Revolution is a big enough pull on its own to draw you in. In 22nd place is the 3rd Evercade console cart Data East Collection 1. With 10 games in this collection, you are certainly getting your money's worth. Though a couple of these titles are simply alright for me, and I can't lie, I bloody loathe Burger Time with a passion. The rest are pretty good titles. Midnight Resistance is a fucking awesome scrolling platform shooter. Geomac 2 is a fun prehistoric platform romp. See, I told you there were a lot of these prehistoric games on Evercade. Magic Drop 2 is a competent puzzle game and makes a nice accompaniment and change of pace with the other titles on the collection. And Side Pocket is a bloody playable and enjoyable pool game. Just a great all-round cart, really. And in 21st position, and just missing out on the top 20, is the 29th Evercade console cart Pico Interactive Collection 3. Now this is a bit of a jam-packed cart, and though there are a few fillers, there are some decent solid games in here as well. 40 Winks is a wonderful PS1 3D adventure, and Zero Tolerance does a stand-up job with its technical limitations. Legends of Wukong is a decent RPG that can now finally be beaten. Radical Bikers is just so darn cute and so darn addictive. And Salter Sedan should be experienced by all at least once, with no regrets. And so that's it, my ranking of carts 30 to 21. I won't lie, there have been several shuffle arounds and back and forths with this list. A few originally in this list have been pushed up to the next, bringing a couple from there down, which surprised even me. What do you think of my choices so far? Agree? Is there anything I haven't included that you put towards the bottom here, or anything I've included that you think should be much higher? I always love to hear your thoughts and opinions. In the next ranking episode, we are looking at 20 to 11. We is getting, in my opinion, to the shit hot stuff now. It's all good shit from here on in. And if you've made it here to the end of the episode, thanks ever so much for joining me. Leave a thumbs up or comment if you'd like. Either way, I'm just chuffed you put your head in for a goosey gander. As always, I hope you're having the most awesomest of days, my friends. And until next time, Merry Christmas, you beautiful bastards, and be seeing you.